Hi everybody, today we're going to talk about wireless routers and which one is best for you. Hi everybody, and welcome to another episode of D-LinkTV DIY. I'm Mike, and I'm here to help you get more out of your network. This week what I wanted to talk to you about was all the different types of wireless routers that are available from D-Link, and kind of go into what is best for your environment and what you're trying to accomplish with your wireless network. So this first group of wireless routers that I have here, they're all 802.11n, but these are all single band. They all work in the 2.4 gigahertz spectrum. These are going to be able to connect you to the internet, allow you to take your laptop out in the backyard by the pool and surf the web, things like that. The benefit of the 2.4 gigahertz, the reason why it has such extreme range and allows you to go out to the backyard, is because the 2.4 gigahertz band, the waveform is a lot bigger than the 5 gigahertz band. And what that means is that the waves can penetrate through walls and different things like that a lot easier than the 5 gigahertz. See, the 5 gigahertz, the waveforms are much smaller, so they can get broken up easier. The other thing that I wanted to talk about was the different levels of routers. Say like this router is part of our Range Booster N line of wireless products, and this one is from our Extreme N. Now, one of the differences is the number of radios that's in the router. The Range Booster N is going to have 2, where the Extreme N has 3. And what this means is you're getting more speed and more range. So these are the things that you need to take into consideration when you go to purchase a wireless router. If you plan on doing, say, like multimedia streaming, you're going to want the high performance router. If you plan on going, say, out to your swimming pool and you're going to be going through a lot of walls, the Extreme N is where you want to go. If you're just going to be, say in the next room surfing the web, or checking your email, then the, lower end router is going to be fine for you. But what you want to do is think about what you're going to be doing in the future. There's a term that we use, and that's called future-proofing your network. As an avid gamer myself, I use gigabit speed on my wired ports, and I use the Extreme N because I want the fastest of everything, because I do other things like test products for D-Link. So take that into consideration. The second set of routers that I wanted to discuss was dual band. And what's cool about dual band is you have both the 2.4 gigahertz radios and 5 gigahertz radios built in. And what this is good for is if you're going to be doing like multimedia streaming a movie, and going to be surfing the web at the same time, it separates them out so that you could have the multimedia streaming on the 5 gigahertz band and surfing the web on the 2.4 gigahertz band. Now, the reason why you should use the 5 gigahertz for your multimedia streaming is because, like we were discussing before, the waveform is much smaller. It's a really nice steady speed, and it stays at that speed, whatever that may be, depending on your environment. Now, the 2.4 is kind of moves up and down, and sometimes slows down and speeds up, and slows down and speeds up, which could result in like lost frames if you're streaming a movie. So the 5 gigahertz band is much better for doing that. Now, one of the things that you need to take into consideration is what we were discussing before also, is that things like walls and stuff can degrade a 5 gigahertz signal. So if you're going to use the 5 gigahertz band for streaming media, you don't want to be going through a whole bunch of walls, and then going out by your swimming pool and watching a movie. You're going to want to do it inside of your house. So what this means is that the 5 gigahertz is going to go faster at a shorter distance, and the 2.4 gigahertz is going to go faster at a long distance. The last category of routers that I wanted to discuss were dual band 802.11n selectable. So what this means is you can go into the interface and you can select either or the 2.4 or 5 gigahertz band. Now, you would say, well, why would you get one that doesn't have simultaneous? And there's a good reason for that. 802.11b, 802.11g, both operate in the 2.4 gigahertz spectrum, along with baby monitors and cordless phones and different devices like that. It's a very crowded band. So the beauty of these is that you can select the 5 gigahertz band, and then you most likely will be the only person in your local area that actually has a 5 gigahertz network. That way you won't have your phones and your neighbors and everybody else stepping on your wireless. So that's what these products are good for. So the last thing that I wanted to talk to you about was antenna placement. You can see the way I have these antennas set up right now. We have the center one is straight up and down, and the two outside ones are at 45-degree angles roughly. This is important because if your antennas were like this, you're going to now have interference or crosstalk between the antennas. So when you're setting up your router, make sure that you set it like this. Also, if you are setting your router to be horizontal, the way you want to set them is to have the top one facing up, one facing one way, and one facing the other way. This is going to get you the best signal possible. So that's going to do it for this episode of D-LinkTV DIY. I'm Mike, and thanks for watching.